This is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. A lot of you have been wondering where I've been the last month or so. Well, it is your fault that I've had to go into hiding. You see, you maniacs have allowed Brett Kavanaugh to sit on the Supreme Court. Brett, what you did not know is that we justices routinely drink punch before we read our decisions. And so, you let a man like Brett Kavanaugh, a man who routinely spikes the punch onto the court. So I have had no choice but to take the last month off. A lot of you know about my rigorous exercise routines. I find them necessary, but now more necessary than ever, now that that rapist maniac Kavanaugh is on the court. So now, when he spikes the punch at our readings and launches his taut, manly, muscular body on me, I can fight and ward him off. I have spent a month learning jiu-jitsu and other forms of defense against the rapist, Brett Kavanaugh. I will return. I will return. Thank you. That was a special message from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I bear no responsibility for that message. She reached out to me, of all people. Heaven knows why. Because as you see it in the news, we're all wondering where she's been, and I guess that was it. Now again, I am merely the conduit. Don't blame me. Don't be angry at me for the. Don't kill the messenger. In other words, I bear no one any ill will. I am merely just projecting what I have been told. I can do no more. I am your servant, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this new episode of Woke Nation is brought to you today by Kellogg's Cereal. No, I'm just kidding. I have no sponsors. But this is a very important episode, and it deals specifically with some of the themes and ideas that have been coming out lately in Virginia with infanticide and if you look at Europe, the euthanasia and other things that are going on, these assisted mercy killings and suicides that are sort of plaguing the West. So I'm going to launch right into it. I agree wholeheartedly with the recent trajectory of liberal thought in a few particular areas. Specifically, I find myself nodding along with politicians like Governor Northam, Cory Booker, and others who advocate for reducing the troublesome population. Now, they may not be as direct about it as I'm making out. Maybe not. But the idea is they're all the same. Abortion is the liberal sacrament. It's the progressive sacrament. It's the lifeblood, no irony intended, of everything they stand for. Well, euthanasia too, assisted suicide, mercy killing, after-birth abortion, partial birth abortion, infanticide. I have but to say these words, and my liberal neighbor next door is right now howling in ecstasy. But it's true. Abortion is the liberal sacrament, and murder is their communion. I don't care if they disagree with me, it's a fact. The evidence is so obvious it's beyond debate at this point. Now, My liberal friends and neighbors, before you work yourself up into a self-righteous tizzy, a virtuous condescending tumult of wrath, I say calm down, calm down. I agree with you. Murder is awesome. It really is. It's fun. It's exercise if done competitively. There's a lot of good things we can say about murder. But most importantly, we have to look at our survival as a species in conjunction with murder. And it's for this reason I say murder is awesome. Look, we're expanding at a tremendous rate in the world today. We're overpopulating, we're overconsuming, we're deforesting, we're poaching, we're overeating, we're polluting our way to extinction. If we don't kill each other, we will surely die. My only bone to pick with liberals is who they are killing. Liberals have chosen babies. See, liberals kill babies all year long, often for the sake of convenience. Sometimes they're just bored. Other times they panic right before the birth, or the father walks out, so it's death for the child. I don't think this is who we should kill. It's far more ethical to look at those who have lived long enough to accrue blame for our current environmental conditions, the guilty. Some thinning of the herd is necessary. No one's arguing this. But there are other far more deserving groups than babies who haven't lived long enough, as I said, to accrue guilt or shame or responsibility. So the question remains, and rightly should be asked, who should we kill? And it's here that I would point to one group that absolutely no one likes on both sides of the aisle. This is a group that everyone, absolutely everybody despises. These are gnarly, pasty, worthless folk. I'm talking about vegans. And don't lie, you hate them too. There is absolutely nothing more horrifying than sitting down to eat with a group of friends at a restaurant, everyone joking and laughing. You all reach for the menu to order, and it's then that the vegan amongst you emits a soft cough. His pale, flaky brow furrows a bit. All vegans, as you know, have dry, flaky skin, persistent psoriasis that leaves a trail of dead skin everywhere they go, like Hansel and Gretel's breadcrumbs. But anyway, the vegan coughs and furrows his brow and dramatically slaps his menu down in the middle of the table. A vegan can't do anything subtly, not when it comes to their virtue. Have you ever watched a vegan eat? Watch one of them eat a stick of celery or a stalk of broccoli. They make it crunch as loud as possible, and they chew loudly and slow, so you get the full, entire effect. They want you to know for sure that they're eating something other than meat, and you should too. But anyway, the vegan coughs a bit and looks around the table. He'll try to make eye contact with each person. He's about to make a moral point. Now, I've learned from experience to bury my head in the menu and not look up. Trust me, to look up is certain death. But then the vegan shakes his head. No, I won't have meat. It's just a thing with me. And by the way, he says it as he's thinking of himself as virtuous, a superior moral being, superior to everyone around the table that would be so degenerate as to eat meat. So don't lie, folks. Just, come on, be honest. Let's all just get it out in the open. Don't get all morally virtuous and uppity on me. Vegans are the perfect group to kill. But I don't believe in waste. I really don't. That's why I've come to the opinion that cannibalism is the direction that we need to head. And if you've ever read Calvin and Hobbes, the comic books, then you know that Saint Calvin, I call him, believes in that cannibalism, quote, should be presented as grounds for leniency in murder cases as it's less wasteful. And I couldn't agree more. We must thin the herds, but we also must utilize nutrients and energy to its fullest capacity. So here's what I propose. We take the first big name, whether it be in Hollywood or DC or anywhere, it doesn't matter, who advocates for veganism, and we catch the freak. For our purposes today, I'll use Spartacus himself, Cory Booker. Yes, this beady-eyed miscreant's been in the news for so many reasons lately, but now he's spouting off about how no one should eat meat, blah, 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 blah. So he's our guy. What we do to catch him is simple. About midnight, we'll pay some deluded Antifa members to play recordings of cows and rabbits being slaughtered right outside his front door. The virtuous being that he is, Cory Booker will come running, thinking he can save some persecuted creature. But right outside his door, Dick Cheney's waiting with his shotgun. And you know old Dick can't pass up the opportunity of shooting someone in the face. Now don't get all mad at me. Don't call me the sicko. These are our politicians. You and I voted them in. So blame them. Be angry at them. Nobody put the shotgun in Dick Cheney's hands when he shot his friend on a hunting trip. I might add, the dramatic humor at the end of that true story is that it was his friend that apologized to Dick Cheney for getting in the way of his shotgun. So don't get angry at me. These are the people we vote in. Shotgun-toting freaks like Dick Cheney. So anyway, after Spartacus is... This cannibalism thing isn't a sight near as crude as you might think. Heck, there's Cory Booker sliders, there's Booker mignon, Cory Franks, Spartacus biscuits, Democratic wings. You vote for the sauce flavor. Oh, the options never run out. But since I'm sharing this with you, I want to release my magnum opus, my masterpiece, my haute cuisine. And it is... Cory Stroganoff. No, I know. Not so impressive, you're thinking. Everyone's had beef stroganoff, and everyone's mother makes it better than the last. It's like grilled cheese or poached eggs. Which, by the way, you must try my grilled Pelosi sandwich and my poached Schumer. Delectable. But I've found the simplest recipes, if done right, to be the most succulent. I'm getting ahead of myself and just absolutely dripping at the mouth right now. A Cory Booker stripped, chopped, and seared properly with the right distribution of onions, olive oil, and yes, even basil will make even the most cynical critic melt. And basil is the key to everything. And you can even get ahead of the process by having Cory Booker eat a couple handfuls of basil right before Dick Cheney uses his shotgun, we'll say. Now, like all progressive ideas, you cannot judge it until you've tried the table yourself. With vegans, you're not missing anyone that you will, miss. And as Saint Calvin rightly points out, cannibalism is the right way to go. It's less wasteful, and we need to look at this in murder cases. If there's anything I learned in life, it's that Bill Watterson knows all. I hope to propose my new idea to Congress within the coming week, at least before this podcast's next episode, so I stay current, fresh, and hip. And this is my comfortable meat deal. If you support such environmentally friendly legislation, email me at roadnottaken04@juno.com. You can always subscribe to Woke Nation or unsubscribe if this episode has offended you thusly. And as always, keep free speech alive by subscribing at iTunes. You can download the Podbean app. And subscribe on our YouTube channel, or I should say my YouTube channel. I'm not as schizophrenic as you might think. But that's it. Very short, very succinct, but I think that when you're dealing with issues of this much power and magnitude, it's better to be, I think brevity is the best way to go, I would say. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez would have done well to learn that lesson before she released her Green New Deal, which was long-winded and stupid, and she had to erase almost all of it before releasing it. So, bowing to brevity, this is our episode. I will be back within a couple days with another one. Until then, good night, enjoy your Cory Booker, and God be with you.